as Indians, we like to talk salad but eat samosa. So how did you bring in Burmese cuisine to India to some people who may have never heard of this cuisine at all in the first place?
A neighboring country of India, so beautiful, people are so nice, the cuisine is so diverse, so relatable, so tasty. And why don't we have anything like that in India?
But like, tell me something, why do you specifically pick this cuisine?
One of the most special and beautiful side of, myself, that's my mother's side. She happens to be from Burma.
When you decide to open a restaurant, what was your first step?
Kitchen consultant, you need a fire consultant, a design
Wow.
consultant, you need a landscape artist, you need 3-4 different engineers, and this is only in the front of the house.
Then how do you bring that kind of authenticity to the menu? Do you travel often to bring the ingredients right from Burma?
There was a challenge to bring in those ingredients. We had to go to the Thailand-Burma border, we had to go to India-Burma border.
The most difficult thing is to maintain consistency of food not only in your same restaurant every day, but now you have so many outlets.
Oh no, yeah, now they have 2 restaurants. The Fort outlet is very good. The Goregaon one is not as good as Fort. I'm good. It's very common and you hear it a lot.
ठीक है, you launched the restaurant, you opened it, but there's a certain storytelling around the cuisine that you have to create to sort of connect to the Indian audience. So how did you sort of do that?
Our, aim and mission was that, right from the ambience to the server's knowledge about the country to the food, everything should just shout Burma Burma.
People who are not from the background at all and they are just doing it for, passion, or they just have that extra disposable income to start a restaurant, they kind of fail there. But I think that's what your background really helped you.
I was literally I was born inside a hotel. The entire family, we used to live on the ground floor of a hotel.
People who just want to open a restaurant, and most restaurant owners dissuade people ki mat kholna. So what is your advice to someone who's opening a restaurant?
Great industry to join, but I tell everyone that
if you're a fan of the Burmese cuisine like Houseway, chances are you have dined at one of the Burma Burma restaurants in Mumbai, Bengaluru, or one of their other locations. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Ankit Gupta, co-founder of Burma Burma. With deep-rooted Burmese influences to creating one of India's most celebrated vegetarian Burmese restaurants, Ankit has redefined the way we experience Burmese food. We'll dive into his journey, the challenges of staying true to authenticity while catering to Indian palates, and of course, the secret behind Burma Burma's cult-like following. You're watching One Little Secret with Adhunika Singh. Hi Ankit. There's something very interesting I noticed in your bio, on your Instagram bio. You said, I don't take reservations for Burma Burma. But thank you for taking our special reservation today. We're very happy to have this conversation with you. Treat this conversation as a maybe case study to how to set up a restaurant, but also very different niche that you have set up. Let's start with your background, sort of pre-Burma Burma. What was it like? What did you do in the hospitality space? Did you study anything in that background? And you can just give your basically monologue.
Hi Adhunika, so nice to be on this platform and to share some really fun insights about myself and Burma Burma. Really excited for that. So I was literally I was born inside a hotel, right? I'm come from a family of hoteliers. I'm a 3rd generation actually.
Oh, wow.
So the entire family, we used to live on the ground floor of a hotel in Santa Cruz in Mumbai. So you could say, for me, just dialing 9 and calling for a cheese sandwich, or for a French fries, so I just knew hotels till the age of 10. And naturally, I knew that I, had an inclination towards hospitality, service, restaurants, seeing my father, my uncles. And I thought, why not take formal education in hotel management? And it was a very seamless segue into, passing from school, college, enrolling myself in a hospitality school, and just 3 years of honing skills. And with that, I got a little bit of experience working in some of really fine establishments, like some standalone restaurants like Olive Group of Restaurant.
Wow.
And even I did a 3-year job with the Tatas. So
Oh, lovely.
I was, assigned a beverage manager role at Taj Mahal Hotel in Bombay. And that experience, is something for the books for me. It gave me a sense of what the, reality of this industry is all about. And that got me really excited, and that really paved the way for, be it Burma Burma or many more other things to come.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I just knew one thing that I had to do, probably join my dad, be chef, be it in the front of the house, and that's how, where it is.
That's brilliant, and always an on-ground experience really helps. So I think that background of yours has really helped sort of push this forward much faster, because people who are not from the background at all and they are just doing it for passion, or they just have that extra disposable income to start a restaurant, they kind of fail there. But I think that's what your background really helped here. But like, tell me something, what sort of pushed you to start a restaurant in this Burmese kind of niche, and this, why do you specifically pick this cuisine?
Right. So what I told you first was my dad's side,
Yeah.
right? I missed one of the most special and beautiful side of, myself. That's my mother's side, right? So she happens to be from Burma. She was born and brought up. She's Indian, definitely, but born and brought up in Myanmar. And for 22 years, she lived there. In fact, in the 1970s, when there was a great migration happening in Burma, a lot of non-Burmese had to leave Burma overnight.
Right.
And my maternal family was also one of them. And when they came to India, they didn't know how to speak English, Hindi, any of the local dialect, only Burmese.
Oh my God.
Right? Yeah. So it took a while for her to get used to, Mumbai, and used to, learn Hindi and English. And so you could see the profound, influence that I had about Burma, growing up in that household. Right. Right from my mother talking in Burmese with her sisters in secret, whenever they didn't want to, make us understand what they're saying, or probably every day, having some Burmese dish at home, like a tea leaf salad or a Burmese khao, which was very unusual, right?
Right.
And that got me really, really curious. And also to see like some little bit of artifacts and lacquerware lying around the house, my uncle's wearing lungi at home, So at the back of the mind, I always was exposed to a very different culture and art. And that curiosity was always there. And finally, in 2010, I got the chance to visit that country itself, along with one of my very dear friend, who's also heads the entire kitchen operations at Burma Burma.
Oh, lovely.
Ansab. And we just went there without any agenda, right? We went in 2010 and Burma Burma opened in 2014.
Wow.
So there is a 4-year process to start Burma Burma. And when we stepped inside that country, it really blew our minds, right? And like, what is this, right? It's a neighboring country of India, so beautiful, people are so nice, the cuisine is so diverse, so relatable, so tasty. And why don't we have anything like that in India? And we are just, eating maybe a Asian food or Italian food or continental food, right? Back then, right? And that actually set the platform that we need to capture what we experienced in Burma back in India. And then the 4-year journey of, really getting all the recipes together, working with stakeholders, in Burma, going around in my family to my uncles and aunts to find their recipe books, jot down the recipes, do countless trials at my family, my dad's restaurant, and then getting the team together, getting the concept together, and finally in 2014, my partner Chirag, we opened our first Burma Burma.
Lovely, and that's been 4 years is a big journey to have. So when you decided to open the restaurant, what was the first step? What should someone decide when they decide to open a restaurant? What should be the first step to doing that? Is it find a good chef? Is it, like you said, decide the menu or the location? What was your first step in that way forward? That, okay, now I want to open this restaurant and this is the first few things I need to do.
Uh, just to give you, like, on a side note, to open any restaurant, we need to work with around 45 agencies
Oh, wow.
to bring it together, right? Some are internal, some are external. So it's been a great learning curve. Now, I was very comfortable after Taj joining my dad, assisting him and everything. Of course, back of the mind, I knew that I'd gone to Burma. There's a beautiful concept, but still, I didn't have that much of courage or confidence to open it. Now, answering your question, that what made me really, take the plunge and start Burma Burma is that when I felt the real need for it. As a guest myself, I said, there's no place where I get such amazing, tasty food and an experiential dining. And what am I waiting for? Right? I have to start someday. So, that courage and confidence I
Is
had.
the first step.
Correct. Because I felt the need that there is nothing like that in India. And I think it may do well. Right? So that's the first step, to really understand that there is a concept or there is a particular cuisine which is not there in your surroundings, and it may do well. So once you have that confidence,
Basically, you need to have your why
Right.
first. Right. And then what's the technical bit? How do you push the process?
multiple of factors, it's not singular. You need to firstly get a great team, right? We are nothing without our team,
Right.
So it's a restaurant. People come definitely for the food, right? You need to have a great back-end team when it comes to kitchen, experienced chefs, front of the house team members who know the art of hospitality and great service, right? As how we would want to be treated.
Right.
And this is what I learned in my formal years. And then definitely location is the next step. So team is first. First is the why, the concept, the need for it. Second is forming a great team together. Third is finding a good location because it needs to be accessible, right? And it needs to service to your target audience. No point opening something where your audience, they don't live nearby in the surroundings, right? It'll be an effort for them to travel. So once these three things are covered up, I think the rest follows. And then, of course, you need a great design team to ensure that the moment anyone walks into the Burma Burma, they should feel that they've entered the country Burma, right? That's been one of our goals. And yes, to name a few agencies, you need a kitchen consultant, you need a fire consultant, you need a design consultant, you need a landscape artist, right? You need 3-4 different engineers, and this is only in the front of the house. And back of the house, you need a finance controller, you have a data analyst, right? So I thought it's very easy.
Right.
Just to take a place,
And
have a menu, put your page on social media or Instagram, and that's it, you're sorted. But hey, it's not like that.
And what about the legal permissions that one needs when they're opening a restaurant? Especially in Mumbai, if you know, like, what are the certain legalities involved in it?
Of course, because it's a restaurant, you're dealing with food which people are consuming. Also, you're dealing with fire, right? So depending on the scale and the format that you operate, there are different licenses that one needs to get. And it's very easy, very straightforward. Like for a restaurant, like for Burma Burma per se, we need a fire license, right? Because we use, gas cylinder fire.
Right.
Then we need a eating house license, by the local municipal authorities. Then we need a food and drug license because they authorize the safety of the food, right from the food handler certificate to the water testing.
Oh, wow.
What's the pH level, so that's that. And then you have, of course, the music license. If you're playing ambient music, there's a separate body. If you're playing like a fixed music by an artist, there's a separate body. And then you've got, it's simple, but if you have like alcohol, then the excise department comes into play, and then you need to take some more additional licenses for that. But I think over the years, what we've seen, they've scrapped many of the licenses.
Okay.
It's very, very straightforward to get them. It's not that hard, and you've got these licensing agents which assist you to do it, and it's not that expensive as well. Like Mumbai, like we operate in 8 different states,
Right.
and I could proudly say, being a Mumbaiker, that in Mumbai it's easiest and hassle-free to get all those licenses
Lovely.
if you're
That's
doing a legitimate business.
Correct. So, Ankit, also India is so emotional about their food, and I heard Chef Sanjeev Kapoor also mention this on a chat that as Indians, we like to talk salad but eat samosa. So, how did you sort of manage to balance that, bringing Burmese cuisine to India to some people who may have never heard of this cuisine at all in the first place? And to get those kind of people to walk into your restaurant and actually order and eat. So how has that been sort of the balancing act?
So, as you said, we heard Chef Sanjeev Kapoor and we introduced samosa salad at Burma Burma, right?
I've had that, yeah.
Right.
There's a samosa soup also.
Correct, right. So, Burma, very interestingly, is like divided into 2 worlds. One is the cuisine which they used to serve 300-400 years ago, which is just rice, curry, vegetables, meat, that's it. And when the Britishers ruled Burma and India, they brought in a lot of migrants from India, China, all the neighboring countries, and they brought their own influences of ingredients and cuisine to Burma. So very common to see Burmese eating aloo paratha, dosa, biryani, samosas, right? But in their own little way, faluda, right? We were surprised and shocked to see, right? And we then experienced a lot of flavors which were very relatable, very tasty, not that alien to the Indian palate, right? And we felt that I think something like this could really do well in India, because again, there are 4 Indian states that border Burma, and a lot of the ingredients you could get on the Indian side of the border as well. So logistically, yes, there was a challenge to bring in those ingredients. We had to go to the Thailand-Burma border, we had to go to India-Burma border, right, just to source those ingredients. But, when we opened our first restaurant, I think we didn't want to play it safe, because then we would be just another Chinese, Italian, Indian restaurant. I mean, you're not actually making an impact on the existing culinary scene, right?
Right.
And that does not excite me.
Right.
And I felt that India is ready. We are well traveled, right? We are exposed to different flavors around the world. And we said, kya hoga yaar? We'll open a restaurant, it will not work, maximum, right? But we need to take that risk. In fact, even today, me and my family members, we are shocked to see when people come and eat Burmese food,
Yeah.
right? When there are so many options around. So we said everything that we'll do has to reflect the country. We have to be true to the country, not have like a pan-Asian food, just Burmese. And with that conviction, we went ahead and started Burma Burma in 2014. I still remember the very first day. There's a dish that we have at home. It's called the tea leaf salad, laphe. And, the first guest that entered the restaurant, we were scared that I hope he does not order that laphe, because it's a slightly acquired taste, right? It's fermented tea leaf. Why doesn't he just order khauswe, right? And then the first thing he had ordered was the tea leaf salad. And all of us were just hiding behind that bar and just looking, are they finishing the entire plate, or have they just left it after having a bite? And to our surprise, pleasant surprise, they finished the entire thing. And I happened to go onto the table, ask the guest, you're our first guest. I saw that, you've finished the tea leaf salad. Did you like it? They said, the flavor what I had right now, I've never had something like that. And I loved it. And it is these little stories and moments.
Must be so validating.
Right, along the way, which kept pushing us to where we are now.
Right. Like you said, you went to Burma and then you went to different borders as well. Like even in here in India, every 10 kilometers, food changes, preferences change. But, theek hai, you launched the restaurant, you opened it. But there's a certain storytelling around the cuisine that you have to create to sort of connect to the Indian audience. So how did you sort of do that? Because fine, there's social media and there is your restaurant. once people come in, they can feel the ambience and the story. But how do you kind of bring them to the story?
One is to create that curiosity and not oversharing. Let me share an insight with you. For the first 6 years, we didn't have our menu anywhere, not on Zomato, not on Google, anywhere listed, because we felt that anyways we are experiential, unique. If they happen to see a dish name, they may assume it to be something else, which it is not. Right? So what we, tell our guests is come with an open mind. Because when you come with an open mind, you have very low expectation, right? And when you have something which is tasty, relatable, and different, then there's a wow factor to it. So I think that really worked for us, right? And it has to be a very cohesively run unit. When our, aim and mission was that, right from the ambience to the server's knowledge about the country, right, to the food, everything should just shout Burma Burma, right? And that's why the name as well. And so that's why I think it was a well-jointed unit. And they felt that they're actually eating in one of the streets of Yangon. And it is that little story of your daily life in Yangon, in Burma, the street of Burma, that we've kept pursuing, all these years. And I think also it really helps when they know that the founder's family, they are from Burma. So there is, a certificate of authenticity, and backing and validation.
Right, rightfully so. And so then how do you bring that kind of authenticity to the menu, like you said? So do you travel often to curate and bring the ingredients right from Burma, and like what's the process around the menu and the ingredients specifically?
Definitely, I think, just talking about Burma, our face, they glow up because, the entire team, we really look forward to visit Burma. Every 4 to 5 months, we visit the country. In fact, I have more friends in Burma than India.
Yeah, I keep seeing you travel.
It's amazing. I mean, we have around 18 meals a day, 18 meals, right? Not exaggerating. We start in shifts. 7 to 11 is one shift, 4 meals, breakfast. Then we take a break for 2 hours. 1 to 5 is another shift, and evening 8 to 11 is another shift.
Right.
That's our daily ritual day like in Burma. It took us time, as I said, 4 years to get those recipes right. It took us time to get our logistics, in place to get those ingredients, because there are some ingredients which are very unique to Burma.
Right.
We will do injustice if we try to make like a mock of that in India, like the fermented tea leaf paste, right? There's an entire village in the central part of Burma. They know the art of making the fermented tea leaf.
Wow.
No one knows the recipes but Burmese, right? It's called lape, addicted. I've been eating that since I was 2 years old, and I've even seen my nephew and nieces who have no idea about Burma eating glued onto that, and it's one of our popular dishes as well.
Right.
The second is, we use a lot of spices in Burma. So we've got dried mustard greens, a splash of that in hot water really spunks your entire soup. It's sour, it's tangy, it's just amazing. Great for, your probiotic as well. Then you've got fermented mustard disc. It gives you that umami to that dish. We top it in the soup, top it in the rice, in the noodles. And in Burma, they don't have a concept of dry noodles.
Okay.
They only have fresh noodles, 17, 18 varieties, right from this thin to this thick, the noodle.
This thick?
Blew our mind.
Wow.
And we've been working to perfect that recipe in the last 7, 8 years. I think very soon, after 12, 11 years, you may see that in the menu. We tried to import that, try to develop, in Burma and get it here. We weren't successful. So that's why we didn't do it. So there's a process to do that, to get those ingredients, few ingredients. There are some ingredients you get in the northeastern part of India as well, like the split gill mushroom that we get, the roselle leaves, right? And only when we know that the recipe, we've perfected it with those right ingredients, right, is when we introduce it in the menu.
And how is that? You were mentioning that you also have a innovation lab where all of this happens. So take us through that. I don't think many restaurants really have like a testing lab or a restaurant, or setup where they, work with recipes, before they actually launch it. So what is your process there at the lab?
We always strive to really excel in Burmese food as well, and along the way learn some of the modern techniques that is going around in the world, right? So that we could really elevate the Burmese dish as well. And for that support and that endeavor, we needed a space where the entire team could work in peace. We've got like a library, we have a fermentation room. It's a 100-year-old cotton press factory tucked inside Parel East, and we've opened like a 12-seater lab. And there are all these complicated equipments which are there, slow cooker, sous vide machine, blast freezer, and there's a dedicated, team of 4 to 6 chefs who work there every day to do trials. Not everything comes on the menu, but you don't know. Food is such, when you try to work on a technique, there is some other thing that gets developed, right? So we do our readings there. Usually I go there at 10 at night, and then I leave that room at 6 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Right? Just in peace, we do our research. And just like Indian food, even in Burma is a country which is 3 times the size of Thailand. I won't say every 10 kilometers, but yes, every region has their own unique cuisines, own unique techniques. And our aim is, whenever we visit Burma, even if we get one dish from that trip, our trip is successful. So that's why we need to be connected with Burma. We work with a lot of stakeholders in Burma, with the artifacts, the lacquerware, some communities.
Right.
And I think that's what drives us.
Wow, I'm already transported to Burma. I wish we had more budget, guys. We could have traveled with you to Burma.
Anytime.
Next time. But also, so like you said, Burmese has been your authenticity is the main key here. But also as a restaurant, something I've noticed is it's vegetarian only. So has that worked as an advantage or a disadvantage for you as a restaurant to pull people in and sort of experience Burmese food, but only vegetarian?
So that is our one little secret. We don't tell that we are a vegetarian restaurant.
Right.
We just happen to say that we are a Burmese restaurant. Come with an open mind. And guess what? It happens to be vegetarian. And without alcohol, so refreshing.
Yeah.
So refreshing as an experience, right? I feel, where we are today and the love and the feedback that we've got is because of the fact that, that we've been vegetarian, I feel, to an extent. But we do use a lot of mock meats. We do use a lot of vegan and vegetarian fish sauce to give that umami, right? The reason why we are vegetarian is not because of any other reason. It's just that in Burma, the non-vegetarian Burmese is slightly overpowering. It's tasty, but it's slightly overpowering. And 2 months in a year, they abstain from meat and alcohol. That's during the Buddhist Lent. So indigenously, a lot of dishes are vegetarian. It's just the topping and the broth that is non-vegetarian, like fermented shrimp and fish, very overpowering. So we just asked ourselves that why open something where a lot of people may not come because of the strong taste and smell. Let's just keep it vegetarian. We are not compromising on the recipe or the taste. And let's see how that goes. And because everyone eats vegetarian, right? It's simple as that.
So I've recently turned vegetarian. It's been a year, and my only struggle now is that I have to look at a menu before going there, because usually the vegetarian options are so limited. There are maybe 3 or 4 good dishes around vegetarian, and rest are all non-vegetarian, which was not the struggle earlier. But now I realize that maybe there is a market for also vegetarian only, people who want to, families who want to dine and have like no non-veg in the kitchen sort of a setting. And I think India is the perfect market for that anyway.
I feel so too. But like I also come from a family of restaurants where we serve non-vegetarian. We serve all alcohol. Not only that, I'll tell you, like one of the pop-up we did of Burma Burma before we opened, right? We used to serve non-vegetarian in one of the pop-up, right? And what we saw that everyone's just going towards vegetarian, right? And I feel that going ahead, I see it on the rise, vegetarian. And I think good that, we are part of that journey.
Yeah, Fabulous. Also, now you have almost 11 outlets of Burma Burma, and there's this one. I mean, I've heard a lot of people in the food and restaurant business that the most difficult thing is to maintain consistency of food not only in your same restaurant every day, but now you have so many outlets. So how does one sort of maintain consistency throughout all outlets? What is that process like? Because there's obviously not one chef now, there are multiple chefs in the kitchen.
I'm still learning, right, how to do that, and it's a constant, focus point for us. That not only consistency in terms of the food, but be it the service, be it our back-end processes. I think everything should be consistent, right? Every time you come here, you should have the same exact experience, because the repeat guests are not wanting something new. They want that exact same feeling what we experienced the last time, right?
Yeah.
And I think what we've tried to build is like an ecosystem of multiple trainers within the organization. A lot of team members that we work with, they're from Nepal as well. So they could move around the country, wherever there's an opening. So that has really, really helped and has been the backbone of us. And any new opening that we have, the existing team members who've been trained, been working with us in different, sections of the kitchen or restaurant, they take, the onus of going to the new restaurant and taking those new charts, so that they are already aware of the DNA of the brand, the recipes, what we make in the kitchen or in the bar. So that has really helped for us. And I think we have a dedicated team of around 6 to 7 team members whose only job is to, just including me, whose only job is to just visit all the restaurants in 1-2 months' time, spend 2-3 days, right? And I think what's really helped us is that we are a single brand company. So we are always in the zone of Burma Burma, right? Which really helps, I feel. We are not conflicted, right? And that was a challenge for us. Because, it's a very natural feeling to say that, oh no, yeah, now they have 2 restaurants. The Fort outlet is very good. The Goregaon one is not as good as Fort. I'm good. It's very common. And you hear it a lot when the brand scales.
Right.
And it took us 9 years to open our second Burma Burma in Mumbai.
Right.
Right. And it took us 11 years to open 11 Burma Burmas. Right? For the first 9 years, we were only 6. So there is no rush or pressure to expand or open multiple. It's just that it's a great time to live in India. The way economy is booming, the way micro markets are getting developed. So we just were lucky to find that opportunities across India, and we kept opening and to get great talent along the way to help this dream materialize.
And if you had to pinpoint, now that you have 11 outlets and almost 4 in Bangalore itself, so what is your best location, best performing location to an average performing in terms of the cities and locations?
I think entire India, what we are seeing right now is something what I have not seen in the last, I don't know how many, 10, 12 years, right? What we are witnessing. Same store sale growth also we witnessed almost 2 times on what we used to do 10 years back, right? Every market is very different. I like to calculate on terms of the P&L, like profit and loss. Like Mumbai, we are paying 5 times the rent what we pay probably in a Bangalore or Hyderabad, and the sale is almost similar, right? So if you compare to, where do we enjoy opening restaurants, definitely it would be in the southern part of India and even north, Delhi NCR, right? Where the rents are slightly, viable for us. So I think Bangalore is the biggest market for us, but I think currently the top running restaurant what we have is Hyderabad.
Oh, wow.
So every city we go, it surprises us, right? We just said, okay, let's open there, let's see what it is. And then it surprises us that, hey, it's doing the #1 grossing restaurant, right, amongst the portfolio. That itself has to say so much of where India is heading and what's to come.
Brilliant. So, Ankit, paint a picture for us of how a busy day in the kitchen looks like, and maybe now that you've grown so much, what was it like in the beginning to now? What has been your personal experience in the kitchen and operations?
It's my favorite place to be at. Whenever the restaurant's busy and chaotic, I think the first place that I run to is the kitchen pickup counter, right? Because once that is handled and everyone's getting their food on time, I think the guests are happy and things are okay. Uh, our kitchen, we start operations at 7 in the morning to serve you at 12 p.m., right? So actually, there's a 4 to 5 hours time that we take to cut all the vegetables fresh, make all the sauces, your nice and fragrant, comforting houseway curry that we have to make. It's a 3 hour process. It's a family recipe that we start at probably 8 in the morning, and there are different sections within the kitchen. I'd love to show you, give you a little tour about of our kitchen. Take the order. Hello, hello. Look what happened. There are different sections. That's the hot range. That's the fried range. That's the salad, and that's the steam buns.
Okay.
That's how it's divided. Burmese, they love their fried. Got a rice batter, so put some white pea on top and spring vegetables. Give it with a nice Burmese hot sauce. This is the fried onion. Very versatile.
That's the fried onion here.
That's the fried onion. See all these baby onions. So salads in Burma means atto. Atto actually means to be mixed with hand.
Okay.
So they don't use spoon and fork to actually get the flavors out. They
From
mix
your
all
heart.
the ingredients with your hand.
So refreshing. Very interacting and engaging also for the people who come in. And also very transparent, right? Because food is so like tricky for people to have and sort of trust where we are going to eat. So an open kitchen is a very interesting angle. But you were mentioning when we were not rolling that you had initially started off with certain pop-ups before you even had your first kitchen. So what was that like beginning with?
So any restaurant that we set up today, just to give you some numbers, in perspective, takes roughly about 3 to 4 crores
Wow.
of our size, but one could open even in like 1.5, 2 crores. It's a big investment, right? And I started this when, me and Chirag, we were 26, right?
Yeah.
So to loan that much of money from our parents or the bank,
Right.
was a lot of risk. And we said that before taking the risk, let's do some pop-ups around the country. The first pop-up that we did of Burma Burma, I still remember it had a very different logo. So me, Ansab Chef, my mother and my aunt, both are from Burma. We took part in this Anand Mela, in one area called Andheri in Mumbai. And just 3 dishes, right? One is the khawswe, one is the dry khawswe, lemongrass cooler. That's about it. And there was a line to have that. Then we did it in one of the schools, Jamnabai school on 26th January. We reached at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, houseway over. We went back home to make another batch because, that function was still fine in the evening. When we came at 2 o'clock, it was shut for 2 hours. We saw like a line of almost 40, 50 people queuing up just to have that.
Wow.
So again, we felt, okay, it's not that I love it at home. People are also liking outside. But, I think fun and fair, because a lot of friends and family come. Then we said, let's do one in Delhi. So in the Australian embassy, we did one pop-up of Burma Burma. Again, we got a very, very positive response. Then we did it at Sunburn.
Oh,
right?
wow.
We took an Innova here, took all these big handis of khawswe, vegetables, rented a bakery in one of the villages in Goa, right? And every morning, 6 o'clock, our prep used to start. And like 9, 10 o'clock, we used to go to the Sunburn ground at Anjuna and set up our Burma Burma counter. And even 3 days, the response was very positive. And all these little things and validations and understanding, getting the feedback, gave us the push and confidence. Chalo yaar, now we can take the risk of...
Have an official kitchen.
Yes, that's correct.
Brilliant. That has been, I have goosebumps when you said all of that. But now coming back to reviews, like you said, feedback, understanding what people are liking, not liking. Have you had any funny incident at the restaurant about maybe a review, or someone must have said something that sort of like you found it like funny as a feedback?
Of course, guests are still very inquisitive about that, why vegetarian, why no alcohol. And I say in my mind, every time they ask me, I said, my 5 minutes are gone to explain that. But I think we get all sorts of guests. We are a very casual dining restaurant with only 800 rupees per head charge. So anyone from a 5-year-old to 75-year-old can come really enjoy, have a fun time at Burma Burma. And with that wide spectrum of profiles that we get, of course, we get some interesting feedbacks and reviews. One review that we got was, I thought it's a vegetarian restaurant, but why are you serving mock meat? Right? I'm going to sue you all.
Oh, God.
So then we had to tell that, ma'am, it's mock meat. Mock, right? It's not actual meat. And then, oh, so sorry, I didn't know about that. I thought I'm eating chicken when they had mock meat. I think more or less, it's
more or
around
less
these.
positive feedback
Yes.
only. That's brilliant. Burma Burma has touchwood been a success story since the get-go. But a lot of times, people who just want to open a restaurant, and most restaurant owners dissuade people ki mat kholna, or don't waste your money, don't waste your time and energy. So what is your advice to someone who's opening a restaurant, and when they say that I'm dabbling with this idea, should I open a restaurant?
Please kholna hai. We need other interesting new concepts and cuisines. It's a very exciting space. Food is a necessity, right? We need to have it 3 times. Burmese eat food 8 times a day.
Oh, wow.
They eat noodles for breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything, dessert. We were surprised to see it. They actually have 8 times a day. So it's a necessity. So it's a social fabric of, what we are, and it's only increasing. I still remember in the earlier days, twice or thrice a month we used to go out and eat. It was a great family affair. And now we don't feel like staying at home. We feel like just eating out. And that Zomato, Swiggy has really spoiled us, right? So it's ever growing. Great industry to join. But I tell everyone that if you don't have a formal training, if you don't have a team who's skilled enough, who's been in a hospitality or a craft school, right, who doesn't have like little bit of experience in good establishments, then it's a complete no-no, right? Because people are very aware right now. They have their specific wants and needs, and they could really distinguish between authentic or a real food than to just like a rip-off, right? And if you have those things in place, then I don't see the failure rate happening. I only see success rate.
Right. True. And like you mentioned, Swiggy and Zomato. So what kind of traction do you get via online food delivery versus dine-in? And since it's so experiential, like you said, your menu, do you see people opting for that as well, or just the dine-in is your more? What's basically, you can tell us the ratio of your traction there and all.
So we were almost 95 and 5, 95 being dining.
Oh, wow.
5 being takeout and deliveries before COVID. In COVID, guests were forced to order home, right? Because restaurants were not open. So then, of course, post-COVID, like in 2021, we were at a ratio of 80-20. And now again, it's normalized to a ratio of 80-20 or probably 85-15, right? So 15% is takeaway and deliveries right now, which is still better than earlier, right, before COVID. So I think a lot of them were in the mindset that it's an experiential dining, why be ordering at home, let's just visit Burma Burma at all. And when they were forced to have it during COVID, they felt that, hey, the food is almost the same. We give it with our tamarind candies, we give it with a nice musical QR code. It's very nicely packed with all the instructions.
Right.
It took us 3 to 4 years to start delivery. For the first 4 years, Burma Burma didn't deliver.
Right.
Because we wanted to have the same experience at home. Once we got the packaging partners right, And I think now also we focus a lot on deliveries as well.
Yeah, it's been my personal experience as well. Like you said, once I drove down to Kalagora in the lockdown to pick up Houseway, and the packaging is actually really well, put together. It's a nice box which keeps the food warm and fresh even when it arrives home. So that is a good experience when you receive it also, because it's not like leaking from somewhere or like it's become hot, cold when it's reached you. So that is also, I think, adds to the experience, like you said. Um, but tell me something, how did you manage to remain bootstrapped for like almost 8 years? You recently raised funding, second round, I'm
Correct.
assuming. But for 8 years, you've remained bootstrapped and still able to open outlets. So how has that been? And did you sort of consciously reach out to investors, or because it was scaling and growing, people reached out to you that, we want to invest?
I mean, you know, Burma Burma comes in the restaurant space. We are a very traditional business. It's a very brick and mortar business that we have, right? We don't understand burn. We don't understand any of those terms, right? We just understand it's a restaurant. People are coming. We should be able to make profit.
Right.
And with all the restaurants and different markets where we were present first few years, all the profits we generated were again plowed back into the business. Me and Chirag, both of us, never took even like a dime out of the business because we wanted for growth. And that's how we built it till we were 6 restaurants strong. And after COVID, we really felt the need that we need to now expedite the growth. We have a concept which is ready. There are takers for it in 5 different states. And I think let's not wait for long. And that's the time that, we started this exercise of reaching out to fund houses, to invest in us. And it's a good 1-year process to make your deck, meet people, do multiple of interviews. And the right funding is very important, right? And how much you want to dilute. So we were very lucky enough to get a great, investor and partner on board to assist us with that financial capital. And I think it was only because of that, in less than 3 years, in 2 years, we opened 6 more restaurants, what we did in the first 8 years.
Right.
And in the next 2 years, we are opening 22 restaurants.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's
So
huge.
there are 9 coming this year. We had never, imagined all of that. And I think the funding really helps to expedite that vision. And of course, along the way, a journey, there are multiple interests that we got, for acquisition as well, for merger as well. For franchise, we get inquiries on a daily basis, right? But we didn't want to give out that control because it's very, very, there's a very fine line, I say that the tiger or the devil is in, the small details, right? And very difficult for a outsider or franchise partner to align with your vision, right? And that's why we shied away from the franchising route for our format, right? And everything we make it fresh in the kitchen. In fact, even evening, if you come, the vegetables and everything that you eat are made between the 4 to 6 slot, which we are shut.
Which is a rare case, I'm assuming.
Correct. Yeah. We are open only 7 hours a day, and that's the reason we make fresh batch of food for each dining session. Okay. We shut at 10:30, right? And I think these are the small little things which has helped to maintain the food consistent, tasty, and fresh. And yes.
And once you secure a funding, so where does the fund allocation happen? Is it, like you said, is it in the operations, marketing, or opening new locations, or is it like divided amongst all pillars?
So all the funding, 3 rounds we've done so far, and all have been primary funding. That means all have been used to grow the restaurant count, because every restaurant count equals to additional revenue, as simple as that. And to set up our base, which is, the corporate office and the different departments to support that growth. Because when we opened, we were 40 team members. Now we are around 1,000 team members all across the country. In another 2 years, we'll add 1,500 more team members, to the Burma Burma family. And to support that growth, we need so many different departments, be it quality check, be it cost control, so many different departments. Even I had no idea. I have never managed more than
I'm
40
sure,
people. I have
yeah.
never managed more than 2-3 restaurants, correct? So it's a very big learning for me as well. I also try to learn with different consultants, do some readings of how to manage all of it together. So
Yeah, to lead the team also. Right. But now, like you said, you say completely no to franchisee. I know someone reached out to me to ask you that can we open a franchise in Nepal? And you said no, we don't. But like say 5 years down the line, do you see that happening?
definitely not in India, because anyways in India we are well penetrated in the main cities. Now we are looking even to go into tier 1 cities. We're there in Ahmedabad. We've signed one in Chandigarh. So India is in our control, and
Right. Makes sense.
yeah, but we are also exploring to open Burma Burma internationally in UAE and UK. Our brands have, our trademark has been registered there. And I think there we could potentially look at a joint venture with a local restaurant partner,
Right.
To grow that phase, potentially. But India is so exciting. I happened to travel to Australia, Singapore, multiple, New York as well in the last
Right.
couple of years, just to understand our product market fit there. I mean, everywhere we roam, we said, no, yeah, what we are doing in India in
India is
terms of the
best.
revenue, in terms of the ease of getting the team members, why are we going out? Let's just focus in India. And that's still going to be a focus point.
I noticed that you've also introduced a product line now under Burma Burma as Burma Burma Pantry. Where did that idea come from, and how long ago was this introduced?
It's a COVID baby. There are two things we could have done in COVID, right? One is just sulk and talk about COVID and all the losses and the vendors and everything, right? So that's one way to look at it. One way is just to remove all that noise and just focus on something new, because the only thing we had then is time. Right? And the entire team got together. It took us 1 year to understand that, with Burma Burma, there's a drawback because people have to come to experience the product. Even with deliveries, only we cater to 12-kilometer radius, the Swiggies and the Zomato, right? But what if you're going to New York, you're going to another city where Burma Burma is not there? It will be just a brand, hey, I've heard about it, it's great, but you're actually not experiencing it. So with the Burma Burma pantry and product line, we created around 5 products, wherein Burma Burma could go to everywhere, right? You can take a little bit of Burma wherever you go.
Right.
So that's how we developed. Again, very unique ingredients. We developed the causeway paste, right? Just coconut milk, put that causeway paste, and your Burma Burma causeway is made. Then the tea leaf paste that we made. The lotus stem chips, downrightly
my favorite
addictive.
as well.
Right? Hand-cut lotus stem chips, right? Not machine-made. We've worked with a villager in Punjab to get that lotus stem. It's been a crowd favorite. So that's one of our hero items. So that we launched, right? It's ready to eat, right? And now very soon we'll be launching ready to cook causeway packet.
Oh, wow.
So you have to do nothing. Just there's noodle, there's the chili oil, there's the causeway paste, and your causeway is made in another 3 minutes inside that cup.
Oh, lovely.
Right. So that's how we started from COVID. And I think it's an extension of Burma Burma. It's really helped us in terms of marketing as well. And I think it's here to stay.
And also ice creams as well, they are also packaged as products and you can order it online, right?
Right.
Through.
So we've got like avocado ice cream, very unique, very different, very popular in Burma. Then we have this my mother's favorite fruit. I hate it, called the durian.
Okay.
Right? It's called the king of fruits in Malaysia, Indonesia.
Okay.
It stinks. It's banned in hotels and airports. Durian.
Okay.
Looks like jackfruit. So we've introduced that as well. Then we've got some of the fun flavors like white chocolate and strawberry and dark chocolate and olive oil ice
There's
cream.
some mango energy.
Yes,
energy.
Correct. Some nostalgic ice cream as well.
Yeah.
The energy what
Very
we used to have
energy.
at our age. So it's exactly that energy turned into an ice cream. We do nothing to it.
So different.
Right.
Also, you call Burma Burma as a restaurant and tea room. And I think that's a very big differentiation from serving alcohol beverages. So when did you decide to sort of introduce teas? Because you have great noble coolers and bubble teas. And is it specific to Burma as an ingredient, and that's why you introduced it?
Like India, Burma is a tea drinking country. They also have their own ceremony of tea and a version of tea that they have on a daily basis. In fact, so much so that 80% of the tea that they make in Burma, they eat it in the form of that tea leaf salad, right? So it's very, very big. In fact, where wars, there's peace brokered, they give tea, exchange tea, to each other to announce truce.
Interesting.
So we wanted to have that tea ceremony and that tea experience within Burma Burma. And in Burma, still, there are no concept of restaurants. There are these street cart vendors serving those dishes. And there are these tea stalls on the corner of the road where they serve you the tea and the different kind of food, right? Restaurants just came in the last 6-7 years, right? And it's that tea experience what we've experienced in the streets of Yangon, we wanted to get here. And that's why all Burma Burmas have this huge tea bar.
Yeah.
Where we have our own in-house 10 to 12 varieties of tea. We have Burmese pull tea, right? Very unique way of serving that. Then we've got the bubble teas that, we are known for.
Right.
And yes, tea is very big.
And we've also, at our agency, look what happened, we've designed some of the labels of the noble coolers. So that's our favorite also. Just wanted to plug it in. So moving on to our most favorite rapid fire segment. Be rapid and answers have to be fire.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, if you could eat one dish for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Tea leaf salad. Without a doubt. Every day.
Describe Burma Burma in 3 words.
Comforting, fun, and unique.
Next city you would like to open an outlet in?
Next city, Chennai.
Interesting. One Burmese ingredient everyone should try.
Sorry, not Chennai, London.
Okay.
London.
Yeah. London. One Burmese ingredient everyone should try.
Tea leaf salad, the fermented tea leaf.
I have to try this now. Yeah. Street food or fine dining?
Street food, hands down. I don't eat at restaurants. Disclaimer, I only eat on the streets.
One Indian dish you would love to give Burmese brand?
Pani puri.
A word in Burmese that perfectly describes your brand?
Tatallu. That means vegetarian, and that helps us to survive on our trips to Burma. So everywhere we go, we say Tatallu, this Tatallu, that Tatallu.
If you could share a Burmese meal with a celebrity, who would it be? Anyone.
Anyone? Yeah.
Anyone, any celebrity.
So many
any
of them.
Any public figure.
I think Virat Kohli, because I heard he's turned vegetarian.
Interesting. The most unusual feedback you've received from a customer?
As I said, that why is your mock meat there on the menu when you're a vegetarian? But it's actually not chicken, it's vegetarian.
What's the perfect introduction dish for someone new to try Burmese cuisine?
Khawswe.
Okay, that's the end of our rapid fire. Now, we're coming close to the end of the conversation. If you had to give 3 tips to an aspiring restaurant owner, what would it be?
Have a very transparent company, right? Built on great processes. Be super focused. Don't try to do too many things. Take one subject and really excel in that, I feel. The third one is just sometimes, we try to do so many things which we may love, but maybe the guests don't, right? So be aware of what people want, and right. I think that really helps.
Right, and our show is called One Little Secret. So what do you think has been that one little secret for your success?
Just being very, very real and true to what we do, right? There's no fanfare, there are no frills. It's just
authenticity.
Just simple and real food. That's it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Ankit, for having this conversation with me today. It's been a lovely insight into the food industry, restaurant industry, also hospitality, but also to know your journey with Burma Burma. It's been incredible. Many more outlets hoping to see soon, and congratulations for this big success.
It was fun actually, to have this conversation, and I've known you since so many years and always a big fan of your work with Look What Happened and now with the podcast, and so proud to be associated with you, in terms of our creative requirements. And so thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And I hope this podcast really inspires, or probably make someone believe that, hey, we can open restaurant as well. It's not that difficult.
Absolutely. So Ankit, we have this little thing where we ask our guests to sign an autograph. So please give us this.
Wow, I feel like a celebrity.
That's a ask for the day. If you enjoyed watching this conversation, don't forget to
like,
share,
share
and subscribe. And do leave your comments below. We'd love to know your feedback.